Hello everyone, it's DiegoDoom here. Today I'm bringing you another review. Today I'll be reviewing Sentinel 12'HERO's Meister Ultraman. This version of Ultraman comes from the 2011 manga Ultraman. To learn more about the history of this version of Ultraman, check out my review of Ultra Act x S.H.Figuarts Ultraman. The 12'HERO's Meister line is a new collaboration between Sentinel and the monthly comic magazine Heroes to produce super articulated 12-inch figures of various heroes. Be sure to check out the 2011 manga Ultraman, it's a great manga. Sentinel 12'HERO's Meister Ultraman is a fantastic release in the Heroes Meister line. Ultraman has a fantastic sculpt, fantastic paint applications, fantastic accessories, and a fantastic range of articulation. First, let's unbox Ultraman because it's a pretty nice experience. Once you take the box out of the shipper, we are treated to a very nice premium box. On the front of the box, we have some awesome artwork of Ultraman, with Ultraman's name going down the left side with a glossy finish. On the back of the box, we have the credits, very similar to how Hot Toys creates the artwork for their boxes, which is definitely very cool. Once we remove the lid, we have the instructions on top of the foam casing. Underneath the foam lid, we have Ultraman with his 3 pairs of hands. I really like how Sentinel packed Ultraman into this box. We have the foam inserts wrapped around the feet and Ultraman's chest. Then when you pull Ultraman out of the foam casing, you have plastic covers over Ultraman's major joints. You really get the sense you're dealing with a quality high-end figure. Now that we have Ultraman out of the box, let's take a look at Ultraman himself. Ultraman has a fantastic range of articulation. First, let's start with the head. Now, in order to get the full range of motion in the head, if we spin around to the back here, we actually have to flip open the bottom portion of the head fin, so when moving the head, it clears Ultraman's upper back. So with the head fin fully extended, we can look all the way up, we can look very far down, we can look left, and we can look right. These shoulder pads are on their own ball joints that can be fully extended. Now when moving the arms, I absolutely recommend fully extending the shoulder pads until you have the arms in the position you want. If you don't do this, you run a high risk of the shoulder pads scratching up against the armor on Ultraman's traps. The shoulders themselves can move forwards and backwards, so Ultraman has the ability to reach across his chest. The shoulders can rotate a full 360 degrees. The arms can come out higher than 90 degrees. We have an upper bicep swivel. We have very nice double jointed elbows. The fists are on straight pegs, so we can tilt spin these freely. In the upper chest, we can lean forward, backward, twist side to side, and lean side to side. In the waist, we can lean forward, backward, twist side to side, and lean side to side. Moving down to the legs have a fantastic range of articulation, but before you start moving things around, you have to unhook these hip pieces here. Unhooking these hip pieces gives the legs plenty of clearance, and that way you do not have to worry about the upper thighs scratching up against anything. Just like with the shoulder pads, once you have the legs positioned, you can go ahead and slot these back into place to make Ultraman look nice and consistent. So for the legs, we can kick forward this much, backwards this much, come out to the side this much. We have an upper thigh swivel. We have very nice double jointed knees. Moving down to the feet, the ankle guards and heel guards are on ball joints that can be fully extended, giving us free range of motion for the feet. The feet can tilt and swivel, and then finally, the toes are articulated. Ultraman has a fantastic feature that really is the icing on the cake for this figure and makes this figure a must-buy for me personally. Ultraman has a very nice light-up feature. First, we'll start with the head. To activate the light-up feature in the head, you have to remove the top head cap by gently and firmly pushing forward. Once the head cap is removed, a switch is revealed to activate the eyes. To activate the light-up feature in the chest, first flip up the shoulder pads. Next, flip up the panels on Ultraman's traps. Next, remove the chest panel. On the inside of the chest panel, there is a switch to turn on the light-up feature. Something to note, when closing the panels on Ultraman's traps, the right panel does not seem to want to fully peg into the chest. I'm not really sure what the issue is here, but it is a common issue based on reports from other collectors. Not a big deal, but it can be a tiny bit of an eyesore. To activate the light up feature in the forearms, remove the top panel on the forearms and it will reveal the switch to activate the light up feature. Man, this light up feature is so cool. With everything lit up, Ultraman looks alive and ready for action. The only thing I have an issue with are the LEDs on the forearms. I really wish they were brighter. The forearm LEDs are only noticeable in low lit situations. Despite the dim forearms, Ultraman looks fantastic and looks especially ominously cool in low lit situations. When it comes to sculpt and paint apps, Ultraman is stunning. Starting from the top, we have the head. The head has a fantastic armored sculpt with a clean metallic silver paint app. At the top of the head, we have the head fin that has a very nice sharp sculpt that seamlessly transitions into the head sculpt as we come down to the eyes. The eyes have a nice angular sculpt with armor indentations going along the brow line. The eyes themselves have a nice compound sculpt with an off-white paint app that really stands out when the eyes are lit up. On the sides of the head, we have the ears with red accent lines and armored indentations. The mouth guard has a very nice sharp angular sculpt with more armor indentations. Moving down, we have the chest with a nice armored sculpt and more armored indentations. The chest has a nice metallic silver paint app with red accents. In the center of the chest, we have the limiter with a nice blue paint app. The shoulder pads have a nice armored sculpt, again with more armored indentations. On Ultraman's traps and throat, we can see small, clean SSSP logos. Spin around to the upper back. The back has a very nicely detailed armored sculpt with small SSSP logos and warning indicators. On the forearms, we have the nicely detailed specium gauntlets with a darker metallic silver paint app and warning decals. Moving down to the knees, the knee pads have an angular sculpt with a dark metallic silver paint app just like the gauntlets and smaller warning decals. The feet have a nice armored sculpt with dark metallic silver for the ankle and heel guards. As a whole, Ultraman turned out to be stunning. The sculpted paint apps are clean, crisp, and sharp. The articulation is surprisingly fantastic considering the size of this figure. Finally, I really love the light up gimmick for the eyes, chest, and forearms. I really do wish the lights on the forearms were a bit brighter, but in the end, they're fine. Now, let's take a look at Ultraman's accessories. Ultraman comes with one battery tool, 3 pairs of hands, and a pair of specium blades. First, let's take a look at the battery tool. The battery tool is a simple plastic tool used to safely remove the batteries from their circuit boards in case you have to replace them. I'm really glad they included this tool because the batteries are a pretty snug fit inside of those circuit boards. Next, we have Ultraman's 3 pairs of hands. Ultraman comes with a pair of open hands, a pair of relaxed hands, and a pair of specium hands. Each of the hands have a fantastic metallic silver armored sculpt on the outside and a nice textured glove-like sculpt on the inside. The hands attach via pegs. When removing the hands, hold close to the wrist joint so the pressure is on the hand and not the joint itself. When attaching a new pair of hands, it can be a little tough to break in the sockets. Just be careful and try to keep the wrist pegs straight when attaching a new pair of hands. Once you remove the fists, attach the desired pair of hands to match your favorite dynamic pose. Finally, we have the pair of specium blades. The specium blades are very nice. The blades are translucent with a gradiated blue paint app. To attach the blades, things can get a little uncomfortable. First, slide the top portion of the specium gauntlet up until it clicks. Pushing this piece up can take a little bit of effort, so be careful. Once you have the top portion extended, flip open the base panel. Next, flip open the panel on the bottom portion of the gauntlet. Finally, peg the specium blades into the top portion of the gauntlet first, and then slot the flat end of the blades into the bottom open panel. Now, Ultraman can cut down his foes. As a whole, Ultraman's accessories are fantastic, but I wish we could have had a customized articulated stand. The stand would be fantastic for display purposes and to help us pull off some dynamic jumping or flying poses. Now that we have the accessories out of the way, let's do some size comparisons. To conclude the review, Sentinel 12'HERO's Meister Ultraman is a fantastic release in the Heroes Meister line. Ultraman has a fantastic sculpt, fantastic paint applications, fantastic accessories, and a fantastic range of articulation. This figure is definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. I absolutely recommend picking this figure up. Now be aware, this figure was released through Sentinel's official premium online store. I pre-ordered Ultraman when he was first announced through Sentinel's premium store. If you missed the pre-order, I think this figure might be pretty tough to pick up for a reasonable price. Hopefully you guys can pick him up because this figure really is fantastic. Be sure to check out the 2011 manga, Ultraman. It's a great manga. This has been another review by DiegoDoom. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for more figure reviews. Check out the Facebook fan page, add me on Jimmer, and follow me on Instagram. Like, comment, and subscribe.